My daily ritual is I get up, I do my affirmations, because when the first 30 minutes when you wake up and the first 30 minutes before you go to sleep is when your subconscious mind is open and you can reprogram it. And again, I'm going to make videos and talk about this, but you want to reprogram your mind to get you out of this fight or flight, to reassure yourself that you are safe, that you can be calm, that you can overcome whatever that you're doing. So it's affirming the power that you have over your own life. So that's that. All right. So you do your affirmations and then you meditate. That's what we're going to talk about, so that you can try and get that into your subconscious mind, because 95% of what you do it subconsciously. You know, when you wake up and go to the coffee and get your egg and cheese biscuit, or go to Starbucks and stand in that line, or drive in that line, you're doing it subconsciously. Okay. You have this pattern. And as long as you do the same thing every day, you're going to get the same result every day. So the only way you can change what your result is going to be is you have to change your process. You have to change your routine. So you need to build routines that actually help you do this. And then I'll tell you what has really changed me is using this Muse headband. Okay. That's what we're going to talk about next. How are we on time? Oh, yeah. Hey, let's do a commercial. It's because I only got 20 minutes left. I really want to talk about how you can actually do this. Okay. And again, I'm not telling you something I heard about. I'm telling you something that changed. It really changed my life, is learning how to meditate. All right. So let's go to commercial and we'll be right back.
We are going to a quick break, so stay with us as we explore the ageless blueprint right here on W4HC Radio and Talk4 TV. An ancient secret with a modern twist for better health and vitality. Dr. Taylor will be right back. Taking care of your health shouldn't mean taking a handful of pills every day. At Taylor MD Formulations, they create doctor-developed supplements that combine the best natural ingredients so you get the results you need with fewer pills. Taylor MD Formulations is backed by science, designed for real life with real results. Less pills, better health, doctor approved. Shop now at TaylorMDFormulations.com and discover smarter supplements for smarter health. That's TaylorMDFormulations.com. We are back for more of Ageless Blueprint. Once again, let's join Dr. Taylor for more insights and research on the ancient secret to better health and a better life in modern times. Here's your host, Dr. Eldred Taylor.
All right, we are back, and I'm excited to tell you some information that you can actually use today to disconnect from that stress response, disconnect from that fight or flight, and learn how to go into that parasympathetic rest and digest. Okay, so let's go to the next slide. All right, so this is the Muse headband. You put it on your head like this, and you have a app on your phone, and you have your earbuds in. And so what it does, it gives you biofeedback. So first I had to use guided meditation to kind of tell me to focus on my breath. And if you are focusing on your breath, your in breath and your out breath, it takes you away from your analytical mind. Okay. And so your analytical mind is always trying to talk you out of what your intuition is telling you. Okay. It's always looking at the external and trying to protect you from the external environment. And it's making you neglect your internal environment. All right. And your brain waves tells us what your internal environment is. All right. So when you are stressed, you're in what we call this high beta state. And in high beta, your brain waves are just all over. They're incoherent. They're just, they're cluttered. Okay. So you can't really focus. You have this brain fog. And that's really what ADD is all about. Okay. You're in this high beta state. Now, there's a lower beta state when you're really trying to concentrate and be analytical. Okay, so you're really trying to have that analytical mind frame. Then there's alpha. Alpha is deep concentration. It's when those cluttered or those disordered brain waves start to get more coherent. Okay, they start to come together so that you can focus. So you want to be in alpha. All right, when you're awake, you want to be in alpha. Now, when you're in deep meditation, that's the theta waves. That's those hypnotic waves. All right, that's when you can really get into your subconscious and you can change it. Okay, and then delta is sleep. Okay, that's that deep sleep. So you have delta, you have theta, you have alpha, beta, then you have high beta. So you want to stay anywhere between theta, delta, and beta. Okay, you don't want to go into high beta, and you want to be able to control how you can get into those states. So anyway, so you wear the headband and you can do it for 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Now, when I first started, I couldn't meditate for 2 minutes. Okay, but I did this program called Declutter Your Mind. But first, let me show you this. All right, so every person my age or younger, every person is worried about their cognition. So that first, I hope you can see it, that first one that's on the left, that is me practicing meditation every day. And you can see how every day, if you look at those dots when it says great, I'm increasing my ability to go into alpha waves. And in that next one, when I'm optimal, that means I went into theta. Now, this is looking at cognition, and meditation helps you to maintain your cognition. It keeps your mind fresh. It keeps it where your mind can recuperate and recover so that we don't get dementia or Alzheimer's. So meditation is so, so important. My mother had dementia for the first 5 years of her life. I'm sorry, not the first, the last 5 years of her life. I'm sorry. Okay. And I saw what that can do to a person. And so if there's anything I can do to train my brain so that that doesn't happen, then I'm going to do it. And so that's why I use this Muse headband. And you can actually go to choosemuse.com. I'm actually going to show you that. choosemuse.com/ageless, and you get a 20% discount off of these headbands. But I highly, highly recommend, because one of the reasons why I didn't meditate, because I didn't know if I was doing it right. Is it actually doing anything? So this lets me know it's doing something. And whenever you can attach meaning to something that you're doing, and you know that it is accomplishing a certain goal, you're going to be more likely to do it. And that's why I think this is so important. And let's go to the next slide. All right, so this is brainwave patterns. So I want you to look at these little blue birds down there, okay, down here in the mind. And so it's telling me that my mind was calm 84% of the time, and I was still 91% of the time. All right, and that is a major accomplishment for me, is that I could quiet my mind for 20 minutes, okay? And that didn't come easy. Okay, and let me show you how I got to that point. Let's go to the next slide. It's an app called Declutter Your Mind. Okay, and what I would do is I use the Muse headband, and I would do those meditations. They have a 30-day mindfulness meditation course. And again, the first time I did it, I couldn't meditate for a minute. I mean, not 2 minutes. And so how do you get better at something? You practice, okay? You want to get better at the guitar, you got to practice every day. You want to get better at the piano, or what? You want to get better at baseball, basketball, whatever skill you want, you have to practice it. So you have to practice meditation. And the more you practice it, the more you fall in love with it. I'm going to tell you. You don't know how good it feels to have a quiet mind, because your mind's never been quiet except when you're asleep. And even when you're asleep, your mind's probably not quiet. But when you can quiet your mind at will, if you saw on that those little birdies that I told you about, The minute the meditation started, within the first minute, I could quiet my mind. Now, that used to take 2 or 3 minutes because I'm thinking about, did I drink enough coffee, or when do I have to get ready to go to the office? When I'm in meditation, I don't think about any of that. And I know it because my brain waves are telling me that I'm not thinking about any of that. That's when your body can rest and repair. And when you can go into that state at will, eventually, and somebody told me you should always live in a meditative state. And I'm like, does that mean I'm supposed to be saying and have my eyes closed all the time? No. You can learn how to quiet your mind in any situation. I quiet my mind before I get on this podcast so I can think clearly. Because if I'm nervous and fight or flight, I'm not going to be able to talk and have a conversation with my viewers and listeners if I'm uptight. Okay, I need to be able to think clearly and let some of the things that I know and the things that I think are appropriate to tell you, I need to have that to flow. And you need to have a clear mind in order to do that. So the Muse headband and the Declutter Your Mind app, I highly, highly recommend if you're interested in changing your life. If you don't like being in fight or flight and what fight or flight does to you, okay, then you need to change. And this is the way you change your subconscious. 95% of the things you do it, and you do it unaware. And we're going to talk more about this as I talk about how to transform your life. You need to be aware of what is affecting you, okay? Because a lot of times you're just unaware. You're just going through life like you've always done it because it seems comfortable to you. And when you try to do something else, it seems uncomfortable. Well, it's not uncomfortable, it's just unfamiliar. And we get so stuck on the familiar, we don't allow anything new to happen in our lives. And the reason why we are here is to experience life, is to live life more abundantly. That means to have abundant experiences. That doesn't mean to do the same thing every day. That's what I'm saying. Who wants to have longevity if life is boring? You want excitement in your life. And the only way you can do that is be willing to change and be willing to allow new things to happen. And if you're stuck in the same routine, there's no time for anything new to happen. All right. So let's go to the next slide. All right. So you want to repair the damage caused by the stress. That's what we do in Ageless Blueprint. We talk about rebalancing your hormones. We talk about supporting your adrenal recovery, talk about healing the gut. We talk about healing your mind, healing the spirit, getting that connection back to spirit, mind, and body. Okay, so you got to repair all the damage. You've separated yourself because you've gotten so into yourself and self. You're just worried about your next cup of coffee or whatever.